Good morning. I'm your host, Melissa Vega. Keeping the culture alive. That's been the vision for the American Indians in Texas at the Spanish Colonial Missions. They're celebrating 30 years of preserving and recognizing indigenous communities. Here to tell us more about what is in store for the celebration is Executive Director Ramon Vasquez and Development Director Sabrina San Miguel. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Sure,
Thank you for having us.
Well, 30 years of cultural healing and empowerment is the slogan of the anniversary. So how did this saying come to be?
Well, the first 30 years was really hard. We were bringing awareness. We were trying to reverse extinction because the common belief was that our people had been extinct. And so the work that we were doing was all about healing the community, helping San Antonio understand the narrative, the American Indian narrative of San Antonio. Before we came on the scene, the history of San Antonio, you would have thought that that when the Spanish arrived, they were greeted by mariachis and disregarded the whole 10,000 years of American Indian history in San Antonio. So that was the first 30 years, and so we feel that we've done a great job, these past 30 years, and the staff, it basically was all turned over to the staff to look at the next 30 years. We have a very diverse workforce, and they took it to a different level, and they came up with a slogan.
They did, yeah. So we actually sent out like a Google form into everyone, and we were like, all right, guys, like what do the next 30 years look like for AIT, like as staff and as people who are doing this work on behalf of AIT? And so everyone kind of submitted their own ideas of what they think the next 30 years looks like for them and for us as an organization. And we ended up landing on 30 years of cultural healing and empowerment, which I think is so powerful, that's coming from staff as well.
I love that, just kind of moving forward, thinking about the future. And I understand, Ramon, one way AIT is empowering people is through a symposium in September 17th, the National Voter Registration Day. So talk to us about the symposium. What's going to be talked about there?
Well, this year is a very important year for this country. And so we know that we have to do our part as well. San Antonio is the 10th largest city with an American Indian population in the country per capita. Our American Indian population has grown significantly since 2020. As a matter of fact, in 2020, Bexar County, it grew by 115%. That's telling us that more American Indians are making San Antonio their home. And so the symposium will be able to address that, to actually create a process where there's self-determination in regards to what that community is going to look like moving into the future for San Antonio. Is San Antonio ready and prepared for the growth of the American Indian population in the county as well?
Absolutely. Growth continues to happen everywhere. And I know you guys are so busy. So, yeah. Sabrina, another event happening in November. I guess it's the Yanaguana Fest?
Yanaguana.
What will that have in store for visitors?
Absolutely. So in celebrating our 30 years of cultural healing and empowerment, we're going to be doing it for a year long of different events and programming, being really intentional about it. So one of our big ones that we're going to do is our Yanaguana Fest. Now, in the past, we did it, I think, like 2 years prior to COVID, and it was really successful. However, since COVID, we hadn't done it. So this is our first year doing it again. Essentially, it's a sober event. It's family friendly. We're going to have music and art and poetry, and as well as culinary. Like, there's going to be a huge culinary experience. We're going to bring in a lot of different local, native, and BIPOC owned restaurants and whatnot to come and serve food. It's going to be really fun. It's really exciting.
I love that. So where is it going to be held?
It's going to be held at Mission Marquee.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's very exciting. And I understand there is a new logo as well to celebrate the anniversary. So that's exciting.
That's
Tell us about the new logo.
That also went through a process, right? And the staff was really involved in that process. They selected the artist. They chose the design. And I thought it was very telling in regards to the American Indian experience, because it shows people of different colors. right? Different races. And we see ourselves as American Indian people, we see ourselves as a bridge to all those different cultures. Because American Indian, there's no colors that we're bound to. And so we see ourselves as a bridge, and so I thought that logo was pretty telling.
I love that. And for people that, want to find out more information about the symposium, about the festival, or just want to get involved, I mean, do you guys look for volunteers as well?
All the time. Volunteers are the backbone of everything that we do, and we value and honor those relationships. So you can find all of this information online at our website, so aitscm.org. You can sign up for our newsletter. That's really important. We send out all kinds of information, all of our social media handles. We're pretty much on every platform as well. So
I love that. And Ramon, I know we talked about kind of that moving forward, that next 30 years. Why is it so important to strategize, to plan out that vision, not only for the organization, but for the community?
Sure. I mean, as I said, San Antonio is a growing community, but Texas is even a much growing, bigger community. It's over 800,000 American Indians that live in the state of Texas. Our organization is now the second largest American Indian organization in the state of Texas. So we have to begin to be that voice. We have to help other communities establish their voices as well, those American Indian communities. And so we just partnered with Dallas. That's the largest American Indian center. So there's, we got to the first 30 with strategic partnerships and having a vision. And so part of this legacy organization and processes is to pass those processes over to the next workforce, to our younger workforce as well. Because I'm not going to be there for the next 30 years. I've been here for 26 years. So the next leader is in there somewhere, and the visions for where that's going to look like is brewing right now.
Got it. And Sabrina, I guess that's the thing also, kind of getting the youth more involved to kind of bring it up through the organization, right?
yes, absolutely. And I will really take my hat off to Ramon when it comes to that, because I think oftentimes in organizations and even in corporations and the leadership tends to be the driving force behind all of the decision making. And Ramon's been, really open and intentional about thinking so far ahead and being like, well, I'm not going to be here. It's going to be you guys. It's going to be all of, our younger staff and the youth that we work with. We're doing a lot of work around youth development and leadership right now. And so we're getting really intentional about, registering our young people to vote. As Ramon said, it's a really, important, crucial year for us. And so, I think that's really exciting. I think it's really exciting that he's, offered us as staff the empowerment to feel like, okay, yeah, we have a voice in this. We have a voice in what we think AIT looks like in the future and how we can, offer different, areas of work that the community needs and different resources and different programming. And so that's been really exciting. And so much going on. We're excited. We're excited to roll it out.
So much to do. All right. Well, Ramon, Sabrina, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.